When we got to my house, he chuckled to himself. What's so funny? I asked. It's cute how you trust me enough you actually show me your house. Well, I'm not scared of you, so what's the harm? He looked confused but rolled with it. Then he followed me into my house and sat on the couch. Make yourself at home, I said, sarcastically rolling my eyes at him. Do you want anything to eat? I asked him, not knowing what to say. Nah, I'm good. He got up and started looking around. Which room's yours? He yells downstairs at me. Shit, why does he want to go in my room? It's the purple one, I yell at him. Jeff's point of view. I walk into a room. Not bad, I think to myself. As I walk around a room, I see pictures of her when she was a little girl. I pick up a picture. She looked a little younger, posing next to a guy. I looked at his face, just studying it. Why did he look so familiar? I walk downstairs, finding Hope reading Stephen King's It. That's a good book. I laugh at her. Yeah, I have a strange obsession with anything scary. She definitely looked the type of girl who would be into that kind of stuff. I pulled out the picture of her and her dad. Who is this? I asked her. She has a sad smile on her face. Oh shit, she's going to cry. That's my dad. He was killed a couple months ago. Her voice started to quiver. I couldn't control myself. I reached out and hugged her. I don't want to see her cry. She looked up at me, her big blue eyes watering. Jeff, what are you doing? She asked me. I quickly pulled back. Sorry, I didn't mean. She cut me off with a kiss. I kissed back. Then she pulled away. I had sat there not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, she began to speak. I smiled and grabbed her hand. It's okay, Hope. I leaned in and kissed her forehead. She blushed and smiled. I wiped that tear from her eye. I heard her mom pull into the driveway. I gotta go, I said. She smiled at me and waved. I leave her house and started to walk home. I realized that I still have a photo of her dad with me. I studied his face one more time. How do I know him? Hope's point of view. What just happened? Did he like me? There's no way when I kissed him he kissed back. My brother and mom walk in. They brought me McDonald's. I rolled my eyes. Hope, did I miss something? She says, pointing to my smile. No, I say, trying to hide my emotions. She hands me a cheeseburger. I just glare at her. Mom, I'm a vegetarian. When will you ever remember? Dad was the only one who understood that I was one. He looked out for me. Mom, on the other hand, not so much. Sorry, honey, I forgot. It's fine. I'm not hungry anyway. I walk up to my room and start drawing a photo of Jeff. I'm not a good drawer, but when I try, it's not bad. I plug in my headphones and put my iPod on shuffle. The first thing that comes on is Give You Help by All American Rejects. I start to sing and draw until my mom calls me downstairs. I get up and see my mom talking to her asshole boyfriend, Joe. He also happens to be a policeman. He was dressed in uniform. Oh great, what now? What do you want? I snarl at him. He takes off his sunglasses. We need to ask you a few questions if you don't mind following me, he says. My mom looked at me and just stood there shaking her head at me. I get into the passenger seat of the police car and he drives me to the station. Wouldn't be the first time I was here. He walks me into his office and tells me to take a seat. What did I get busted for now? I started rolling my eyes. I put my feet on the desk. He gives me a look. I ignore it. People heard you screaming this morning, Hope. What happened? took Ozzy for a walk, and he bit me, so I screamed. There, are we done? He reaches across the decks and slaps me right in the face. I stared at him in the eyes with a look of disgust. I didn't want him to find out about Jeff. I got up and walked out of his office. Get back here! He screamed at me. I kept walking. There was no way I was going to take abuse from him. I walked out of the police station and headed towards my house. It was freezing cold. I didn't bring a sweatshirt. Good going, Hope. I walked for a while inside. I'm lost. It's freezing. It's getting dark, and I'm lost. I feel my hands wrap around my wrist and waist. Thinking it was Jeff, I turned around, but it wasn't. It was my ex-boyfriend Mike and his army of goons. What do you want? I spit at him. Don't you know it's not safe for a beautiful young girl to be walking around at night? He grabs my butt. I try to run away, but it was no use. I'm stuck here. He started kissing me. I kicked him in the balls, and he screamed like a little girl. I tried running, but I was circled. All his minions had baseball bats. Oh no, you shouldn't have done that, sweetheart. He says in his angry voice. One of the boys hits me in the knee. I fall to the ground. Another one hits me in the stomach. I cough up blood. The last boy hits me in the head. As I start to black out, I see one of the boys fall dead. I woke up screaming. Sarah rushed over to me to calm me down. What happened? Where am I? I asked, a little scared. She looked at me, about to say something, then shut up. I'll let him explain. Sarah walked out of the room. Jeff walked in. His white hoodie had more blood than last time, but I didn't care. I smiled as he sat on the bed. Are you feeling okay? How are you feeling? He asked me and grabbed my hand. I felt my face glow hot. I blushed. My ribs hurt and I can't really move. I struggled to sit up. He helped me up a little. What happened? The smile on his face was less psychotic than usual. Well, I heard you scream, so I rushed over. So I rushed over to where you were. I saw you blacked out, lying on the ground, and boys hitting you with bats. I got pissed off. His voice trailed off. I knew what he meant. Thanks, I say, looking up at him. I'm just glad you're safe. He kisses my cheek. Then something hit me. Jeff, where the hell am I, and why is Sarah here? He chuckles and gives me a cute smile. After I finished with those boys, I picked you up. You were completely knocked out. I knew I couldn't take you to the hospital, or they'd think I did it. And I couldn't take you to my family either, for many reasons. I knew where Sarah lived, so I took you here. At first she thought I did it, and threatened to kill me, but after we... I knew where Sarah lived though, so I took you here. At first she thought I did it and threatened to kill me, but after I explained, we took you to a spare room. I laughed a little bit, then stopped and grabbed my ribs. They hurt really bad. Jeff saw my pain and offered me help. He told me I should get some rest. He kissed my forehead and walked out. Sarah ran into the room, about to give me a big hug, then remembered my ribs. So, how are you and Loverboy? She asked. I sighed. We aren't dating or anything, so don't you dare say anything in front of him, I say, pleading. Sarah nodded and told me what happened while I was out. He kept talking about you. He kept going on and on about you. Oh, Hope is so sweet and nice and pretty. He really likes you. I felt my heart beat faster. I had huge butterflies in my chest. Well, you better get some sleep. Oh, and you're bright red. She winked at me, knowing that I was embarrassed. It was so strange to say, but I think I'm in love with the killer. Jeff's point of view. I sat on the couch watching Adventure Time. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but I knew Hope liked it. So why not give it a shot? I couldn't get her out of my head. I know I'm going to get in trouble for talking with not just one but two humans. I heard the door shut from Hope's room. Sarah came out and sat in the chair next to mine. We sat there awkwardly for a while. She looked over at me. She really likes you. I sat there. I felt my smile widen. My heart started to pound. I love her, I said. I haven't said those words since I killed my whole family. Sarah looked over at me, her eyes sparkling. Do you know what this means? She asked. No. It means you're not bad. Not all that bad. Not all that bad. What are you talking about? I am a cold-blooded killer, I said. I know, but what I'm saying is you had a chance to kill Hope, but you didn't. You're not 100% killer. I thought for a second. You're becoming more sane. You won't hurt her or anything she loves, or it'll get to you. Oh no. I have to go, I mumbled. She looks at me confused. Come back soon. Hope will want to see you. Not after this. I choked back tears. Hope's point of view. I got up, brushed my hair, and put on makeup. I changed into purple shorts with leggings underneath. I threw on a black sweater, and I was ready to go. Then it hit me. I wasn't in my room. Where's Jeff and Sarah? I was in my room. Where's Jeff and Sarah? I ran into my mom's room. No one was there. I walked downstairs into the living room. There I saw my brother and Sarah watching SpongeBob. I walked up to Sarah. She hugged me. Can I talk to you? I asked her, sounding a little panicked. She smiled at me. We walked in the kitchen. I already know what you're going to say. She smiled. Okay, smartass, what am I going to say? I will. Sarah, why am I here? And why am I here in my house and not yours? And most importantly, where's Jeff? I laughed. You nailed that one. Now can you answer the question now? I get impatient. Jeff went into the forest, I think. Oh, and you were good enough to come home, so I thought you might like sleeping in your own bed. She chuckled and walked over to my brother. I put on a purple hoodie I had to get some fresh air. I miss Jeff already. No, please, someone screamed. I quickly ran over to where I heard the yells. It was on the playground where I first met Jeff at. I listened really carefully. There was faint cries coming from the sandbox. I walked over there. There was a little girl wearing a pink dress, crying. Her face was buried in her lap. Honey, are you okay? I approached her. She looked up at me. Her big green eyes filled with tears, blood running down her face. I gasped and took her home, cleaned her up, and asked her name. I'm Sally, she said, smiling. Do you want to play?